Hey guys, so if you're watching this, this is going to be a little behind the scenes for our YouTube video that's going to go up, geez, later this month, like the end of May. So, yeah, where's that little guy? Okay. So what I do normally is go ahead and take the gecko out, and it's the 2nd of May, so in my little book that I have, I write hatched up at the top, and this guy is TG 1705. TG Thor Gecko 17, that's the year 2017, and 5 is hatchling number 5. I'm pretty far behind as of right now, but I mean, that's the way it goes, right? So yeah, and then I put the egg number, and this guy is egg number 3. So, and then of course the project. It's a marble eye project. This one's just like the other one that you're going to see at the end of May. A really super jungle pattern. And I put the pairing, which is going to be... Oh, and I put what the morph is. As of right now, normal jungle. I don't put marble eye or anything like that just because... who knows? And then I put the pairing underneath it. And I won't show that because this guy's part of a special project. So I don't really want to show that. But it is a marble project. So that's what I put in my book. And then we come over to our 6-quart tubs, the Sterilite. I think it's 1643. I think that's what it is. I don't know. This one's got the sticker taken off of it. So I then come here and I write the same exact thing on the tub. I'll write TG 1705 H05-02-17 number 013. So that of course is going to be its ID number. TG 1705, hatched on 5/2/17, and egg number 013. And on the side, I will put what the project is. It's a marble eye. And the pairing. Put the pairing on the side as well. And this guy is temp sexed male. So like the other one, I mean, you're going to see these in the YouTube videos coming out, but the other guy is temp sexed male also. So let's go ahead and get the YouTube video going at the same time while we do this, just because I like to have videos. Hey guys, so here is our newest little hatchling from the marble eye stuff. This is going to be a either marble eye or het marble eye. Hard to tell right now, but let's go ahead and set up the tub. I fold a piece of paper underneath one side. Then I take my sprayer and just make it moist enough. You're just wanting their first shed to be a good one. They're going to shed within the next couple of days, as soon as they hatch out. And I use the Gen Pack meat trays, of course. It's way better than using paper towel roll or some weird thing like that. Let's go ahead and grab this little guy. Come on. You know who your daddy is. So, yeah, cool little pattern on this one. Really liking it. Not as cool pattern as the first one that hatched out, but still pretty nice. I mean, as far as jungly marbles go. So, I'll go ahead and put the eggs back. This guy was in a shared belly cup. So we should be getting a few more in the next couple of days hatching out from Marble Eye stuff and Total Eclipse stuff. I really cut back on projects this year. I'm just producing enough for the Vegas show in September and online selling for other people that breed. Hey, what's up, Cameron? Yeah, if you guys are watching the YouTube video, this is streaming on May 2nd on the YouTube channel. We will be streaming again on... this is streaming live on Facebook. We'll be doing live streaming on YouTube again soon, but not for a while. Just until I can, I don't know, figure out how to get the resolution up a little better from 460 when I'm streaming at 1080. But maybe if I stream at 4K, it'll come up as like 720 or something. Hey Cameron, the trip was great. There was a Giants game in San Francisco, so that really wore down on my patience. There's so many people in the city. But apparently there's more people in San Jose, which is weird. 923,000, and I think San Francisco is like 65, or maybe that's downtown or South San Francisco or whatever it says. We always play these games where we read on the board the populations and try to guess how much they are. But so what you want to do when you're setting up your hatchlings, I'll try to get this on the YouTube video as well, is I have this Weller BP645. It's a battery powered solderer, and it's perfect for... It's running out of battery power. It's perfect for poking holes. And what I'll do is I'll poke 3 holes in each section at the top of the tub, halfway down the indents on the tub. And that'll give me 9 in the front and 9 in the back. And that gives us good airflow for our little hatchlings. At some point, I have started doing 1/4 inch holes in the 16 quart tubs. So I've done it in some of these too, where I've got some of the smaller species of geckos, like the knobtails and the Russian frog-eyed geckos and such, where I'll just open up those holes a little bit more. But yeah, for hatchlings, they don't need a whole lot of things to climb through. So we'll go ahead and feed this little guy in 5 days. So on the 7th, we'll start feeding. And I went ahead and got a bunch of mealworms from Rainbow now that it's hatchling season. So I've got those to play around with. And once they get a little bit bigger, we start feeding the superworms. Just as soon as they can eat a superworm, then we start switching them over to those. I did give some of the geckos hatchlings this year crickets for the first meal, like the Super Snow and the Super Giant Tremper Patty, but now those guys are on mealworms until they get to about 15-20 grams. Then they go to superworms. I mean, I'll show you guys a superworm next to this little guy. I mean, he's not going to eat that. Look at that thing. That'd be like me eating a dog or something. I don't know. Maybe if a dog tasted good enough. I wouldn't be able to eat the whole thing though. So, yep. Nice pale head. Light markings. I'll try to get some pictures up and see what it's got. It's got some yellow kind of coming in on the white there. This one's probably, looking at the back legs, it might be a super hypotangerine, and it's got some orange going on its sides. So, you never know. I mean, you got to give it at least a couple sheds. It'd be really cool to see that first one, because he's really light and colorful. But yeah, hope you guys enjoy, and we will see you in the next YouTube video. And if you're watching Facebook, we're still here for a long time. I think Facebook will just stream while I... Come on, little buddy. Get over there. Because I can just ramble on Facebook. I don't really care. It's not a YouTube video, so it's not like recording like that. But yeah, this little guy's gonna go in here and check the eggs. Yeah, I've got 4 more coming up in the next couple of days. But yeah, I'll check for some eggs. That's always fun. You guys want to see a really cool gecko? This is a first in the world. This is the Caramel. She's been called a soul sucker at times. Also gender changing. We did go ahead and breed her, but I don't know, I was talking to some breeders because I started breeding her when she was in the middle of a change. So, but that was a few months ago. This one seems to change every now and then. Yeah, I enjoy the live stuff too. I don't got a lot of viewers. I don't have a lot of viewers for the live stuff, but I don't know. There's not a lot of activity on my Thor Gecko page. When I started doing the whole streaming video games on YouTube, I deleted my Thor Gecko page because I was going to sell my collection. And the old page had tons and tons of people on it. I think I had a couple thousand, which, I mean, now isn't anything big because you can just boost your post for 20 bucks and buy yourself 1,000 likes. But, or we could do a giveaway. Maybe I should do a giveaway. What do you guys want to see me give away? I mean, I would even include shipping, as long as it's in the lower 48 states. But, yeah, this is the Caramel. She has not produced any babies yet that have survived. She is actually a banded animal, if you can believe it. That little thing right there is just a look at her bands. These lines going down her back are actually that white part up at the back of their neck. She had it going all the way down her back. So she wasn't like a stripe or a reverse stripe. She was just like, she had that weird white caramel colored thing going on. Now she looks like this. I mean, a lot of people think she's albino, but she's not albino either. So, yeah, Cameron, maybe we'll do a giveaway. Let me see what, I'll put this one away and I'll see what I've got to give up. Okay, I got something for you. I mean, I'm not giving it away right now, but maybe this will be the one that we give away. This is a male, I believe. Oh, there goes the camera. Camera turned off. No, this one might be a female. Whoop. Yeah, either a female or a boy with really small balls. that's a thing. But I'm going to say female. Someone's mating over there. This is a cross from the clear-eyed eclipse stuff. So it does have one clear eye. Oh, jeez, come on now. One clear eye, completely clear, and then one snake eye. It hates me. Come on, maybe we can get a good shot. Yeah, there you go. Snake eye, clear eye. Look at that. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we'll go ahead and give this one away. And I'll figure out when I'm going to be doing that. I'll do some live stream coming up. She was really bold when she hatched out, but now not so much. Coming out of brumation, getting some fat on the tails. I went ahead and cooled everybody this last winter just because I'm trying that out. A lot of breeders are doing that now. It's a fat tail thing, but everybody's going bioactive and all that stuff, so hopefully it'll be a thing and we'll get some better breeding out of it. In the wild, they seem to produce a lot, and they go through brumation there, so yeah. You can see on the black gloves just how bright she is. Super yellow and orange with the black spots. And this is a cross, so it's not completely clear-eyed. A lot of times the clear-eyed stuff will only produce clear-eyed, so it's not going to be a guarantee that you're going to get all clear-eyeds, because she does have one snake eye. So, yeah. But it's always cool to see, you know, the dark stuff with the clear eyes, especially since clear-eyed stuff was originally called Abyssinian, which means everything on the body is albino except for the pupil. Pupil is black, so it has like albino silver-looking eyes. But we pushed some bold stuff into it, so you can see it's got some like really jet black bold markings, and yeah, I like that. I like different stuff. I got a lot of crap around like 2012, 2013, because everybody was saying, you know, also what I wanted to do, you can look at her nose. There's like no white on her nose. She's got even like a speck of black on it. I got a lot of crap for having eclipse stuff, and with the project goal of not having eclipse markers. I wanted it to be like, you know, clear-eyed eclipse, super jet black spots, and no white nose, you know, no white feet. As you can see, this one's got speckles on its back feet, when most eclipse have white socks. The front feet are pretty white. I mean, that's like a pretty good eclipse marker, but she's missing all the other markers. So, yeah. Really nice gecko. I did get asked recently if, you know, if I hand tame my geckos, and every single one of my geckos has not bitten me. I mean, of course, if you know, mess with it, it's gonna bite you. But if you show your gecko respect, you can hand tame them pretty easily. They will run. If you grab them the wrong way, they're gonna bite you. But I haven't been bitten in years, just because, you know, I mean, handle them the way you'd want to be handled by something that's gigantic. So, I know a lot of it is feeding response. Geckos will not bite the hand that feeds them. Boy. Yeah, sorry my table's so rickety. I can't wait to like redo the whole gecko room. But yeah, maybe we'll go ahead and fire up the camera and do a YouTube video. So, for the YouTube video, this is a clear-eyed eclipse cross, female. She is going to be part of our giveaway that we're apparently doing now. I guess we're doing a giveaway. Yeah, She's a Clear Eyed Eclipse cross. One eye is 50% and one eye is 100% clear. She has no eclipse markers. Yellow and orange with nice bold black markings. And she is going to be given away, let's just say when we get to 1,500 subs on YouTube. How about that? We're almost at 1,000 now. I don't have any super giant high contrast males? No. No, the only super giant male that I've got right now is the Tremper Patty. And then of course like the marble eye stuff is giant crosses. And I don't have any albinos for high contrast for that right now. But yeah, if you're watching the YouTube video, this is our giveaway animal. And when we get to 1,500 subs on YouTube, we're going to give her away. Shipped. Completely free. And yeah, that'll be so much fun. So, thanks for watching the YouTube video, and if you're watching Facebook, then we're going to keep showing some animals. So, you want to see a giant. I've got a super mean giant. I'll go grab him. I actually got to change my gloves for him because he doesn't like the smell of any other male. I mean, he just like freaks out. So let me go ahead and grab that. I've been thinking about moving my office down here just because I really enjoyed that before. I could get a lot of work done and do all that stuff while I had the geckos, and it was really easy to do videos and upload and all of that. So, let's see how this is gonna go. Oy. Maybe I need some kind of spoon to help me along. Alright. Here is a super giant Tremper Patty. This guy is so mean, but I still haven't been bit. I mean, all he does is like spreads his scent. Look at him go. Look at that tail sliding around. And I keep these guys really lean. I mean, he's not going to be like 150, 170. I've gotten them up to like 125. But I like longer and leaner. And you can see that he is like, he's really long. It's like legit Sharpie size. Look, he's so upset with that pen. But I haven't been bit, so I mean, it's just the way that you handle them and do all that stuff. I'll go ahead and feed him while I've got him out. And I don't know if you guys have seen my old feeding videos. I used to do like super long videos of just feeding, and I'd put the camera on my 3-gallon bucket and just keep putting geckos in, and then I'd speed it up, of course, once I put it on YouTube. But I'm thinking about doing that again and just leaving the Facebook Live up. Wow, I would love a 12 or 13 inch gecko. These Tremper Patties, I actually got this guy from Ron in 2012. So he's coming up on 5 years old now. And he was like 60 grams at 4 months. Yeah, I think I bought him at 4 months old. Super, super huge gecko. But they tapered off pretty good. His babies get huge. And the new thing now that, you know, Ron has finally come out with is if you buy super giants as hatchlings or juveniles, they're not going to get as big as if you buy a 125 gram, you know, adult super giant. Like, it's just not going to happen. But maybe we'll watch him eat. I don't know, dude. Are you hungry? Okay, over here. No. Get my spoon. My gecko moving spoon. Okay. See, he just wants to breed. He's just doing his thing. Yeah, I like the moose stuff. This guy is actually from the when Murphy Patternless first came out, Ron bred moose to pure Murphy Patternless and then kept these guys in a closed breeding pool. But the Murphy really stunts the growth on the supergiants, like a lot. You're never, well, you can't say never, but I have never seen one that is like, you know, over 120. But I mean, everything that we got, like crosses from these guys, I sold a 135 gram 8-month-old to a couple of people in Florida. I think their last name was Carpenter. She does bodybuilding stuff, and her husband does too. And I sold massive, massive gecko from this line. Like, crazy ridiculous. But yeah, I've never seen a Tremper Patty be that much. He just wants my hand so much. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put him back. Don't worry, dude. There we go. Another day of no work site incidents. No job site fatalities of my fingers. Here we have, if she's gonna be cooperative, this year we're really pumping out the supergiant Tremper Patties. This is one of his daughters that he bred to this year, and he actually whacked her so hard on the head. She's got that dot now. Real bad scar. But luckily that's like the only puncture. I don't even know how he punctured down in there because it kind of dips down. But I mean, he got her good. She needed some care after that. So she probably won't be something that I sell, just because I don't like selling geckos that have you know, scars and stuff like that. But yeah, maybe we'll go ahead and just clean a few geckos while I show stuff. So what I do is I put a bunch of worms in one of these insect cups. I got them from Rainbow, I think. I think that's who I got them from. I don't know. But then I sprinkle in my mix. I mix 1 part calcium powder with 4 parts Vionate vitamin, which is just going to be a plastic spoon of Vionate and then the little dipper that comes with the calcium. And I'll show you that. I like Osteoform SA. and it comes with, you know, a little scooper. So 1 scooper of the calcium with Vionate, vitamin mineral powder. It's the good stuff. And that you just use, you know, the little scooper guy. So that's always good too. As you can see, this girl's about ready to lay some more eggs. I have noticed that they take a little bit longer to lay eggs. They make much bigger eggs than any of my other super giants that I've had. I mean, it's kind of amazing how big the egg is. For any pictures that I've posted recently of the size of the eggs, they're from Tremper patties, most likely. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and just feed some guys. I guess this whole like live video streaming thing is all the rage. This is what everybody's doing now, I guess. I mean, it can be boring at times, but if you like to watch videos where you see everything happen no matter what, like, I mean, if this girl flops on her back and dies right now, it's live. So it's not like I can cut it out of anything. But I mean, that's the one good thing about YouTube videos. Or if she just like takes a crap right now and it's like all this gooey water or something, I mean, you can't cut it out of the video. But I think that live video is great because you get to see, you know, actually how people do stuff. I mean, how do I pick up a gecko? Like, I gently don't get bit. And you can see she's ready to just pop some eggs out. So, yeah. I'm going to go ahead and grab somebody else. Trying to think of who. What do you guys want to see? Oi. I don't know if you can hear that from there, but somebody just took off running as soon as they knew I was going to show someone. Here we go. I got a great one that I got from Brian at Livestream Geckos. This is like my favorite, all-time favorite gecko. I don't know if you guys are like into science and stuff, but come on, make your legs look right. She's really fat. This is a gecko with strabismus. That means she is cross-eyed. I don't have any ball pythons. Ball pythons hate me so much. I don't know why. It's just a thing. This is the only gecko in the world that has cross-eyes. Crossed eyes. She's got some stuck shed on her toe we're gonna have to take care of. But maybe I can get a good shot of her eyes. Her pupils. See that? She's not eclipsed. That's her pupil. They're all the way up at the front. She's the only one in the world right now. There has been some other ones like right before her. But as of right now, I mean, if you know anybody with one, let me know because I would love to get a hold of one. Another. She was bred this year to the Evergreen from Brian at Livestream Geckos. I'll bring that guy out in a little bit. Crazy, crazy. Full stripe. Like, he doesn't have that band over his butt. He's got a full stripe. Super cool. But, yeah, this is, like, my favorite gecko in my collection right now. Just super nice. And one day, I will get a... Yeah, it doesn't affect her eating. When I got her a few years ago, like, everybody said, oh, you shouldn't breed her, you shouldn't do this, she's gonna have problems. Like, this gecko is way better at striking than other geckos. Let's see if we can get her to eat. She might. This is a warped tub, so I don't know if she's gonna be able to strike that because she could see the shadow underneath. A lot of times, that's why I started using that 3-gallon like white opaque tub or bucket because they can't see the shadow from underneath. Like, it's not clear. So when I'm cleaning tubs, I feed each one in the bucket as well as feeding them, just because it's, you know, it's so easy that way. But I'll go ahead and spray her little lay box and check for eggs. I did get hatchlings from her. I bred her to a Turkmenicus a couple years ago, and I didn't get any cross-eyed stuff, and everybody seems to think that it's not genetic, like as far as other animals, I guess is where they're getting their information. I didn't Google it or do anything like that because, as I said, she's just like my favorite, you know, pet gecko. Her breeding doesn't really bother me or not. So, I sold her baby. I'm not entirely sure if that was like the brightest idea I've ever had, but I mean, if it ends up being genetic, you're going to start seeing a lot more. Or not. I mean, I think it got into a wholesale group, so you might not see them, I mean, if it ended up as a pet. But, like, the new thing is breeding your pets now, pet geckos from, like, Petco and PetSmart. So I'm not sure if it's like a neurological connected or anything like that. I mean, it seems like all the cross-eyed ones live for a decent amount of time. I think the last one was a boy that was like just banded and hypo, like normal looking, and I think he lived for 8 years, and I think there was another one that lived for like 15. So not so sure on that. Definitely it's a thing though. Like, it affects her vision, obviously, because she's cross-eyed. So I am extra careful with her. But let me go ahead and grab that emerine. Now this is a emerine or emergreen, as Brian likes to joke around, so it kind of just like stuck within our circle of friends. As you can see, well, he's walking into the shadows. Come on, buddy. He does have some nice dark green and brown and light green tints to him. He's a pretty good breeder. He hasn't produced anything, but he's a good... use my stir stick. Yeah, I think after having that supergiant in here, all the boys are going to be pretty wanting to breed with my hand now. But move him closer to the camera. You gonna get me? Okay. Oh, no, he wants to breed. Yeah, you can see how nice those colors are. And how the stripe goes all the way down. But I'm going to put him back because he's not liking this. A lot of the males that I've got right now are breeding. I did cut back, so I don't really have anything that is not breeding as far as males go. But so all the males are pretty much going to be testy this time of the year. Alright, Here we'll get a gecko. I'm not sure if this one, if you guys know Jeff Scott from Leopard Gecko Project, he is working on a project with me. It's called Turkey Patty. It is Turkmenicus crossed to Murphy. Oh, I have sucked the battery dry on this camera. Turkmenicus crossed to Murphy patternless. And this is a male. Now, if you've got Turkmenicus, you know that they are just like crazy geckos. Come on, buddy. Come to the camera. So this guy is from a pure Turkmenicus crossed to a pure Murphy patternless. So he's 50% Turk, het for Murphy. He looks more like his dad. Lost all the banding and all of that stuff. But there we go. You can play at this game. I am selling this project, is why the pair is going off to Jeff. And I have 3 males and a female. So I'm not sure if Jeff is wanting this one or not, but it's definitely one of the ones that's going off to have fun. As of my never-ending mind that changes, I think that next year, if I keep them, I mean, like I said, my mind changes constantly on what I want to do. If I keep this project, I will breed the male to gosh, this box is just crazy. I'll breed the male to my female fascio so that I get some 50% or no, I'd get 75% fascios, possible het for Murphy patternless. And when you're talking about, forgot to feed them. When you're talking about percentages in subspecies, it's not a percentage of het for something. Like people say, oh, het to het is 66% het. Like, if you bred a het to a visual, like, okay, so say this. He's 50% Turkmenicus. The female is 100% Turkmenicus. If it was a recessive gene, all of the babies would be het, 100% het. But because it's bloodlines, a 50% to 100% is a 75%. So it gets a little confusing when you start talking about subspecies and stuff like that. But here's a nice little one. So this is a female. She's pretty young still. She's crazy. A lot of my geckos are crazy this time of year. This is a giant that is het for Eclipse, and she is from the Clear-Eyed Eclipse project. She's from breeding, or the project is all about making the Clear-Eyed Eclipse bigger. So I bred my best Clear-Eyed Eclipse male to my pure supergiant female, and came out with a bunch of babies. And she is one of them that will be breeding next year. I'm in this new habit of skipping the following season for the geckos. So at any given time, I have a bunch of geckos that are growing up for the next breeding season. So like, say I hatch out a gecko in January, I'm not going to breed that gecko the following January. I'm actually going to wait until the year after that. Because that's my new hobby. It's like what I'm doing now. They say, that's like if you were saying, oh, I breed geckos at 18 months. Like, that would be a gecko that hatched one year, you skipped the following year and bred it on the year after that. So like the second season. So this is her first season, and then next season she will breed on her second season. And she did go through brumation and all of that. But, yeah, I mean, let's see, let's get a different species of gecko out. I think the Facebook video is lagging a little bit. Just a little. This little guy is a wheeler eye. This is Professor X. He is super cool. He's got an X on his butt. That's why his name is Professor X. And he's got a aberrant shoulder band. He is not happy any of the time. But he's super cool. I like him so much. I enjoy, you know, just hanging out with him sometimes. I hang out, he screams. Like, that's our relationship. I will go ahead and give him a couple crickets. I've been doing the cricket thing for about a week or two now with this guy, and it seems to be pretty jeez, I hate crickets trying to grab these damn things. Oh, that one just jumped right into his tub. So there you go. You can have 2 crickets, and then I'll give you some supers. I do give them really small super worms. But these guys can eat a pretty good sized superworm. So I'm not ever worried about that. Mealworms have more exoskeleton, the chitin, than a superworm. Superworm's more fatty. It's almost as fatty as a waxworm, which is one feeder that I never use. None of my geckos have seen a waxworm or even know what it is. I mean, he's probably thinking, like, what's he talking about? What's this thing I've never had before? Like, why haven't I had this thing? I just don't like what happens when geckos get a superworm, or get a waxworm. Like, something happens in their head that, you know, just kills their feeding response. Let me see if I can dig around for some smaller superworms. Ooh, here's one that... I love giving these to the special geckos. These are like superworms that have just shed their exoskeleton. So I'll go ahead and fluff it in the dust, and this will be something easier for him to eat. Just because. And he can eat something like this. There's nothing to worry about. Like, it's totally fine. This is his thing. But he's not. He's going to pretend to be a stone gargoyle right now until I leave. But come on, buddy. There you go. You know, I'm super gentle with my geckos. Like, I'm not just going to scoop them up and get bit and all of that. Like, I'm not afraid of it. It's a tiny little guy. He probably wouldn't even get through these gloves. Come on, man. But if you show them respect, then they're not going to bite you. Watch, I'm going to get bit. No. So, that's this little guy. I'll put him back. He doesn't like being harassed too much. Something cool about... Oh, and this is a Nephrurus wheeleri cinctus. And something else cool about them is you saw how rocky the skin was. Like, they are super rocky. They feel like that all the time. Like, that's just their thing. And they don't, that's one gecko that doesn't drop its tail, which is pretty cool. I love geckos that don't drop their tails. My phone is about to die, so I'm gonna probably whack out this pure Turkmenicus male. He's interesting. For a couple of years, he didn't grow at all. Like, well, I guess he grew slow, is what you would say. And now he's just like, you know, a big guy. Come on, little buddy. And I did change my gloves because he probably would bite. This is a typical wild-looking Turkmenicus. They have very few spots between their bands, and their bands have bold black markings. Now this guy is, oh, he must be like 5-6 years old now. He's starting to gray out. He's gonna, in the next few years, he's gonna get that maroon color. And you can see he's almost lost all of his black. Almost completely lavender coloring. Come on, buddy. Can we get you up here? You see, like, all the black is almost gone. He's not albino. This is just, you know, geckos get this way. No, I don't have any cave geckos. I wish that I did, but I did get one. So here's like a funny story. Back in the day, and that's like the term that I hate the most, but I use the most. In gecko terms, that means like maybe even like 6 months ago. Back in the day, man, let's say 2012, 2013, 2014. No, it was 2013. End of 2013, cave geckos were exploding. Like, if you wanted one, you had to spend like $450 for a normal cave gecko. So there was a pet store local that had one for a long time. Like, it came in a shipment and nobody bought it, and so they just had this gecko. It was like $65. So of course I jumped on it. And my first cave gecko experience was this $65 female that was super old and just riddled with parasites. And she, you know, like, here's the biggest problem with geckos is if you get one that's got parasites and you're cleaning your tubs, unless you change your gloves and all your cleaning supplies every single tub, then the tub after your infected gecko is going to get infected. So my whole quarantine rack, like, well, from like the halfway down, got so infected with crap that it was just ridiculous. And she actually ended up dying, but everything else survived. And yeah, I mean, it must have been like, she was in this, you know, like a funky pet store husbandry setup. So I don't know. She must, it must have just been like changing from that to a normal tub that like really stressed her out and she wasn't able to survive. But I don't know, some of these pet stores, like, they just, no heat, you know, like super thick flooring, like cocoa fiber. And then they have that gecko for like a year and then it goes someplace already full of parasites. Like, I saw the poop in the tank and it was disgusting, but I got it anyways. Just because, like, all my friends, you know, I used to be friends with Jamie Carnes, Razor Sharp Reptiles. Super expensive cave geckos. Like, when those just exploded, it was crazy. Super crazy. But, so I had to get it. I mean, I sent him a picture. I texted him and was like, look at this. $65. And he said, go get it. I wish I never would have, because I think that I should have just spent the $450, because I probably spent that much on panic here and crap for the other animals that got infected. Like, yeah. Terrible. So terrible. But, that's a Turkmenicus. Let me think. What else can I whip out? Maybe I'll end with something slimy. This girl's one of my favorites. This is a blue phase white tree frog. They are super cool. From what I understand, the blue and green and snowflake and all those morphs and crap come from Australia. And at some point, Australia closed its shipping or exporting of wild animals. So everybody started going to Indonesia, which is like the same exact species, but they're like really brown, and they must be a different subspecies because the body shape I can tell is a little bit different. When blues started popping up again, and greens and snowflakes and all that crap at like Petco and PetSmart, I know Mike Madsen bought a bunch of snowflakes. I remember his post on Facebook last year or the year before. I think it was last year. And he was like, oh, I bought all these like snowflakes, you know. They were exploding and becoming like a morph, you know. This always happens where animals will just explode on the market because it's popular to have this morph, and then in a couple of... Oh, jeez, come here. In a little bit, it'll be back to, oh, that's, you know, not so popular anymore. So, these are just like a huge frog. You can see how huge this is. Yeah, just sit there really pretty. You are so pretty. Oh, jeez, you're gorgeous. She's got really nice blue markings. Or tints, I mean. Frogs don't really have markings. It would be cool if they had, like, banded... No, don't point that way, because if you go that way, you're going to be gone for a while. And something else cool about the White's tree frog is it's one of the few frogs where your oils don't affect the frog. Like, these guys are really resilient and hardy, really good animals. This is like the one time when if it had something, it would, you know, not matter if you touched it with your hands. Of course, you always want to wash your hands after. Like, I'm letting him up on my arm, and I'm going to sanitize the crap out of it in a minute. Just because hygiene. I mean, don't put your frog in your mouth. Quit taking pictures of frogs on your face and climbing out of your mouth. What is up with that? Like, why are people taking pictures of geckos and animals coming out of their mouth, you know? Or like they're eating it, you know, fake eating it, got half a gecko in their mouth, and they're like, with their thumbs up. It's disgusting. Or, look, she's sitting all comfy. Or, what's up with bathtub pictures? Where you got like 10 geckos in a bathtub, like in your sink with water, and they're crapping all over each other, and I don't know. I could go on and on. I mean, if you guys listen to Late Night Leos, like the earlier episodes I had where we did 3-hour episodes, you could just listen to me forever and ever and ever. Oh yeah, Lance, I would love like a bullfrog. That would be amazing. You're in South Mississippi. That's like an amazing place to be. My wife and I would love to come to the Mississippi River and check it out. Like, that'd be so cool. I used to catch bullfrogs at the lake when I was a little kid over here in California. But I don't know, maybe yours are a little bit bigger. That would be super cool. I did see a post recently. Someone posted in the exotic pet classified, whatever. It's like not specifically for reptiles. It's just like, I mean, if you want to buy a kangaroo or, you know, a kinkajou, is that a thing? I think that was something that I saw for sale. armadillos and albino raccoons. Oh my god, albino raccoons and blue phase raccoons and crap like that. But anyways, someone was selling one of those like giant African frogs, like not the pixie frog, it was a bullfrog, like a huge frog, giant frog. Or maybe it was a tree frog. No, I think it was a bullfrog. Or no, African bullfrog's a pixie frog, right? It was something else. I mean, it was like this kid was holding it with two hands, and they said it was like a 20-pound frog. Like, just ridiculous. And they were selling them, but you had to... I hate... My other pet peeve, PM for price. Like, why can't you just post it, you know? Facebook's only going to flag you if you post it in the ad. Like, if you mention it down below, if I were to sell something like this, then, you know... Big as a dinner plate. Holy crap, I'd love that. We did do Pac-Man frogs. That didn't work out so great. Tomato frogs were awesome, but, you know, I just had to stick to one frog at that time. And this was it. This is super cool. I'll probably get crap for this, but this is what I... These guys love superworms. Now, what are you doing? Just eat it. Everybody gives me crap for that. But you know what? Superworms don't have as much chitin as other stuff. Are you okay there? Ah, I'm at 10% battery. What are you doing? Oh, you need some water, don't you? Yeah. I'm gonna put this guy back and spray him down. But, yeah, that's my breeder, blue frog. Oh, come on, girl. She doesn't want to go. You gotta go. You gotta go, I'm sorry. Yes, frog legs. Oh my gosh. So... We have a lot smaller bullfrogs here. They're probably like maybe 2 or 3 times the size of these white tree frogs. And I don't know if you guys have a Winco food store where you live, but ours started, they got like this massive shipment in of frog legs. And it was so crazy because like I've got frogs, and I mean here in Northern California, or even most of California, that's not popular at all. Like, I mean, you think of a frog and it's like not something you would eat. But I mean, I get that people eat all kinds of stuff everywhere. Like crickets and mealworms are even becoming popular in like I don't even know what you would call it. Like eccentric people are really getting into the exotic foods and stuff like that. But yeah, there you guys go. Yeah, these guys will eat from your hand. They will eat, well, I don't know about your hand, but they probably bite your fingers while they're at it. Those are dime a dozen YouTube videos, but they do eat from tweezers, tongue feeding, and they eat from a bowl. So yeah, I've got 4 of them in a 10-gallon, and they don't fight at all. They're totally fine all by themselves. Let's see, who else do we have? I think this will be my last one, just because my battery on my phone is dying. You might not even get to see this girl. But, yeah, I mean, if you guys want to see more of these long videos, then, I mean, what is it, just like a couple of you guys? Facebook says only one person's watching this. So that's probably you, Lucas. Or Lance. So there was more. I know there was a Lucas I was talking to, and Cameron and Ryan. But I guess it wasn't cool enough, huh? So here's the super giant female who's been laying like crazy. She's the mother of all the super giant clear-eyed eclipse stuff. Try to get her tub open. Her tail is getting a little thin from breeding now. We pumped her up real good, and now we're gonna breed her, and she'll get thin again, and then we'll do it all again next year. That's the only thing that I don't like about breeding, is how thin the geckos get. Like, you can pump them full of vitamins and stuff, but a lot of them are gonna get pretty thin. We'll show a lay box. This is just a lay box, what we do with. And then I just dig around. Most times you can just turn it over and see where the eggs are. But I didn't see any eggs. So, yeah, there's no eggs. So this is pretty moist. So I'll just give it a little bit more. She does stay in a 32 quart. All by herself. And I'll go ahead and give her a bunch of... Give her the last of the mealworm, or super worms. I keep mixing everything up. Jeez. You could tell that I don't really... Now, this girl's story, I got her in an auction. She is from, I don't even know if I should mention his name because he's so bad at genetics and stuff for being a huge breeder. Gary Uno from West Coast Leopard Geckos had a project where he took red stripe, fascio, and super giants to make super giant red stripe fascios. It sounds like a cool project. I mean, I'm not knocking the project. He didn't explain genetics very well to me when I was buying some stuff, you know, back in 2010, 2011. So, you know, I asked him, like, about raptors and things, and, you know, when you're talking about raptor, you shouldn't come up with codom and stuff like that. So, really crazy. Like, you guys wouldn't believe the, you know, conversations that big breeders will have. Like, try watching, there's this kid, Evan, on YouTube, and about leopard geckos. Just, I mean, you could probably just search leopard geckos, Evan, Brian Barczyk. We watched this video. Oh no, it was crested geckos. Crested geckos. So Brian's like doing this video and just giving out all this horrible information, and everybody in the comments is like, what is wrong with this guy? Like, he's a huge breeder. Why is he saying this stuff? But that's just the way it goes. Yeah, there's all kinds of crazy stuff behind the scenes, like, you know, a lot of the embers and Murphy patternless stuff being het for tremper and rainwater. That's a big thing. Back when I sold my het ember group because I wanted to buy quality stuff. And I was buying some embers, and I found out, you know, I asked, how do you tell, like, it was just a breeder, big, huge breeder. I mean, you guys probably know who I'm talking about. They had rainwater, eclipse Murphys, and the embers. And I asked him, like, how do you label your eggs and stuff, and how do you tell which ones are tremper and rainwater? And I mean, he was like, well, they're all het for tremper and rainwater, so it's really hard to tell which albino it is. And I mean, that just, like, I saved that email, and like, crazy, I showed it to one of my close friends, and like, I haven't talked about it until now. Like, that was just like this huge turning point in my life where, I mean, doing late night Leos, I have on a lot of small breeders. Sometimes I'll do big breeders just because, you know, everybody loves that. Everybody idolizes these big breeders, and they're cool. Big breeders are great, but I like the small breeders that are still, you know, in love with the geckos. Like, at this point where, You know, maybe they have 10 or 15 that they're breeding. And that's getting kind of crazy, but they're still, you know, super dedicated and all this stuff. Which is where I'm trying to get back to. Like, I'm so dedicated to my animals, but I've got so many. Like, I've got too many projects. So I like having little guys on the show because it's just, it's so great, you know. I won't turn down a big breeder that wants to come on, but I will encourage the small breeders to come on. I mean, sometimes it's hard to get the bigger ones on because they've got so much stuff going on, but yeah. I think that's the end of the video, so don't forget Cameron talked me into doing that giveaway. So we are going to be giving away a Clear-Eyed Eclipse cross, and yeah, should be super fun. When the YouTube channel, Thor Gecko channel, gets to 1,500, we'll give that little girl away. So, hope you guys enjoyed this, and we'll be doing some more like this soon. What did I fed like 10 geckos, so I'm gonna need to get a wall charger and an extension cord, and that way my battery won't die on my cell phone, and we can just sit here for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. Like, it'll be great. Maybe we'll even get the laptop down here and hook up the Blog Talk radio so we can take calls and stuff. I wonder if I could hook up the webcam to the laptop so I could stream the Facebook while also talking on the phone with the radio show, while also using the Garmin Verb and streaming, yeah, and Skype. Yeah, Lance, we got to get Skype. Like, that's so much easier for people, because I know that the Blog Talk is sometimes long distance for when people are calling in, and that turns people off a lot. But you can also call from Skype for Blog Talk. And there's all kinds of apps now that you can, because it's a phone number. But, what was I thinking? Oh, and use the Garmin Verb for streaming on YouTube. So we could just, like, you know, do all these little outlets all at the same time and just talk for hours and hours and hours and do it like we used to do on Late Night Leos. You know, maybe I'll even pay for the membership on there so we get something longer than 30 minutes. Start doing 3-hour-long episodes again and, you know, just talk. That would be great. I mean, I could talk for hours. Just listen to me go. Here we go. But, yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'm going to get cleaned up, and I don't know if we're having dinner or not. We ate like some lunner is what we call it. Lunch and dinner. Like really early dinner, late lunch. So, that's great. But, yeah, next time we'll do some fat tails. We'll do the Wonder Russian frog-eyed geckos, the Wonder geckos, some other morphs. Maybe show a visual marble eye so you guys can see the difference. Yeah. And maybe give away some animals. Maybe we'll do that when we get to 1,500. We'll do this big, huge show. But, yeah. And if you guys want to be on Late Night Leos, let me know. Like, message the Thor Gecko Facebook page or the Late Night Leos Facebook page. And, yeah, like, favorite, subscribe to YouTube and all that good stuff. Because I need it. Like, the more likes and favorites and subscriptions that I get, like, that just makes me want to do more videos. So, check me out later. Have fun and have a great season. How do I turn this off? Here we go. Oh, no. Oh, this glove.